Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Battle control online. New mission objective received.
Nikola would be proud. Now you die. Bring them to me. What? Nobody to kill? Capacitors fully charged. And they run. Leading the Soviet war machine. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. Now you die. What? Nobody to kill? Bring them to me. And they run. Need a shocking therapy, see? Now you die. Nikola would proud. Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy, see? Of course. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Leading the Soviet war machine. Of course. And they run. Just like the old days. And they run. I feel revitalized. And they run. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine.
Select
Leading the Soviet war machine. Bring them to me. Just like the old days. Bring them to me. One by one. Why do we wait? Why do we wait? Need a shocking therapy. Leading the Soviet war machine. I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? One by one. Of course. One by one. Nikola would be proud. I feel revitalized. Need a shocking therapy. See? Bring them to me. Capacitors fully charged. And they run. I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. Nikola would be proud. One by one. I feel revitalized. Now you die. Bring them to me. Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Need a shocking therapy. Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy. Of course. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. Of course. Just like those days. Bring them to me. What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. Why do we wait? Kill them all. I feel revitalized. Of course. Nikola would be proud. Bring them to me. Now you die. Leading the Soviet war machine. Why do we wait? Now you die. Nikola would be proud. Leading the Soviet war machine. And they run. What? Nobody to kill? I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. And they run. Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. Kill them all. Why do we wait? Now you die. Bring them to me. Now you die. Just like the old days. Kill them all. Of course. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. Of course. Need a shocking therapy. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. One by one. Leading the Soviet war machine. Of course. And they run. Nikola would be proud. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. Of course! I feel revitalized. Capacitors fully charged. Capacitors fully charged. Need a shocking therapy, see? What? Nobody to kill? I feel revitalized. Why do we wait? Kill them all! One by one.
Select target.
Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Bring them to me. What? Nobody to kill? Just like the old days. Nikola would throw. One by one. Bring them to me. Of course. Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Kill them all. Just like the old days. Capacitors fully charged. Just like the old days. Nikola would be proud. Need a shocking therapy, I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? And they run. Just like the old days. Of course! Leading the Soviet war machine. And they run. I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? One by one. What? Nobody to kill? And they run. Just like the old days. Now you die. I feel revitalized. Of course. What? Nobody to kill? What? Nobody to kill? One by one. Nikola would be proud.
Select target.
Leading the Soviet war machine. What? Nobody to kill? Bring them to me. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. Bring them to me. What? Nobody to kill? Capacitors fully charged. Nikola would be proud. Why do we wait? Kill them all! Of course! Need a shocking therapy, I see. Kill them all! Kill them all! Need a shocking therapy, I see. Now you die. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Of course! I feel revitalized. And they run. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Nikola would be proud. Why do we wait? And they run. One by one. Just like the old days. One by one. Capacitors fully charged. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? I feel revitalized, just like the old days.
Select target.
Leading the Soviet war machine. Bring them to me. Of course! I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? Need a shocking therapy, I see. I feel revitalized. Kill them all! Why do we wait? Need a shocking therapy, I see. Just like the old days. Kill them all! I feel revitalized. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. Capacitors fully charged. Of course! Why do we wait? Just like the old days. Leading the Soviet war machine. Capacitors fully charged. fully charged. One by one. Nikola would be proud.
New mission objective
Nikola would be
received.
proud. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Leading the Soviet war machine. Nikola would be proud. Of course. Why do we wait? Why do we wait? Just like the old days. One by one. Capacitors fully charged. Of course.
Select target.
Capacitors fully charged. I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. Nikola would be proud. Why do we wait? They run. Leading the Soviet war machine. Now you die. Leading the Soviet war machine. Just like the old days. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Now you die. Need a shocking therapy, I see. What? Nobody to kill? Just like the old days.
Objective complete. Mission accomplished.